Good morning, everybody. Now they come to life, spirit and coffee. Cup of coffee here. Yum, yum, yum. It's so good. I love my coffee with cardamom and cinnamon. Cardamom and cinnamon. Good morning, Yolanda. Cheers to you, my sister friend. Oh my God, it's so warm. So it's like really cold. So we redid our kitchen and then we figured out, well, Curtis figured out how to make the air circulate. And so now we open up the windows and it's kind of cold, but like this hot coffee feels so good on my hands. Oh, it feels phenomenal. Anyway, good morning, Mama. We got the little mama who's getting up. Good morning, Nicole. So I was going to talk about health and nutrition because my health is, goes up and down, and the importance of doing that. And especially when you're doing God's work, because God's work, it can be draining on the body, our spiritual practices and work, if we don't take care and nurture ourselves and our body properly. It can really take a toll on us. And mainly because spiritual work is, believe it or not, very physical, especially if you're picking up other people's energy. And this is sort of what's been happening with me, is that I've been taking on the energy of other individuals. Good morning, Betty. And when you take on, so I was trying to figure out, because excuse the ice machine in the background. One day we will have a whole professional studio with all the washer and dryer and ice machine. It's funny. And now we have the water going. But taking on other people's energy. So basically, I was getting a lot of anxiety. And this is not a normal state of being for me. I don't typically have anxiety. And now I know most people do. And I know people experience it, but it's very rare that I get anxiety, especially to the point where my heart, it was elevated and I couldn't breathe. And, I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And it was happening like all the time, all day, every day. And I'm like, how do I get rid of this thing that, just starts to show up for me? And even meditation, even trying to zen myself out, and it just would not go away. And I'm like, I understand the theories behind driving your anxiety down, but how do I apply the theoretical practices that they say work to my physical well-being and see if it works? And so I don't know how you guys feel about anxiety, or if you guys have experienced the anxiety and not really understanding how to drive it downward. But I really started to recognize that the anxiety that I was experiencing is not my anxiety. I was taking on the energy of other people, other individuals. And because of that, I didn't know how to put up a barrier or a block, sort of this wall, so that I can then say, okay, it's not my energy, but somehow I'm absorbing that energy. And how am I absorbing this energy? How come it keeps showing up? Why am I absorbing this energy? And what's the purpose? How do I relate it to what I do in terms of spiritual practices? And what is it? So I know that one, it's for relatability, right? For me to understand that condition around other individuals who experience it, and then perhaps give them a practice of how they can lower their anxiety and what things that they can do to support themselves so that they're not overexerting their body. So what's been happening is that with the higher levels of anxiety, when you're experiencing these higher levels of anxiety, your hormones start to go off whack. Cortisol is one of the hormones that secretes into your body, and cortisol itself can then it could be like weight gain, or it could be high levels of stress in the body, right? So if you're working out, and me, you guys, I work out and I love to work out. If you're not seeing results, let's say you're like, I'm trying to get results in my health and stuff, and you're not getting the results you want, but you're working so hard, it's because you're probably overstressing the body. And then if you're already stressed to begin with, right? Plus, on top of that, you're overexerting yourself, maybe on a strict diet or an intense workout on top of that, that you're actually doing the opposite of what your body's asking for. And so I did get blood work. And the blood work saying that I have too much cortisol in my blood and it's causing my hormones to be whacked out. So I'm telling you guys this because it's important to understand that our emotions are directly connected to the experience we have in our body and the secretion of certain hormones and stimulants in the body. So Curtis and I started to talk about what, how can I support the body? What is it that I can do in order to support the body so that I can lower those levels of cortisol? Or how do I support the body so that I am in a place where you can use it back here, Mom, you don't have to worry about it. So that I can so that I can start to allow myself to heal and get better. So if you're stressed out, right? If you're experiencing stress or anxiety and all that, I highly recommend that you find a practice that helps you to lower that. And a lot of that is relaxation. Like I was looking up for cortisol. Oh, be careful. I was looking up for cortisol, what exactly could I do? What medicines or what foods could I do to lower it? And really the reality was to just relax. It said meditate, it said take naps, it said make sure you get 8 hours of sleep, drink plenty of water. Oh, and there's one that I absolutely loved, which was eat dark chocolate. Okay, any day of the week, buddy, I'll eat me some dark chocolate. So dark chocolate helps to lower the stress. So again, I think we're in a time right now, and I did buy a magazine where it said that we are right now at the pinnacle of anxiety as a society, especially in America. There's so much going on, so much anxiety, so much stress, so much bound up energy by individuals, that I'm thankful that I'm going through the experience so that I can support individuals in some way on maybe practices that you can use to lower it. So again, Curtis and I were talking about nutrition, which is something that I want to understand is like, okay, so how do I eat properly to support my health? This has been a journey for 3 years. You guys have been with me, especially the ones who follow me. Betty, Nicole, I know all of you guys that are on here right now. Renee, Andrea, I think is on here, that you all understand that I've been working on my health. Now it's an everyday thing. It's not like it's been fixed overnight. I still have iron issues and all these things, but I'm really working, I'm getting better. So in other words, I'm not falling deeper into bad health. I'm maintaining now, which is good, but now to cure and to heal, that's the question. So for anxiety, and I know Curtis is in the other room. He could tell me if I'm right or wrong if he wants to chime in. But I know that what he's saying is stringent, I think is the right word. Foods that cause like your nerves to be stimulated. So like peppery hot foods and coffee, like stimulants, right? Which I love coffee. So I'm not going to get rid of my coffee. So what do you do, right? How do you support your body with practices to sort of bring those energies down? I think he was saying onions, garlic, all the things that I eat like every day, all day. Cayenne pepper, which I like just dump the whole cayenne pepper on the food because God knows I love my heat. I'm a spicy Latina. There you go. I need my spice and chile. Anywho, understanding the different foods that are either supporting us or not supporting us with our stress levels and our anxiety levels. And so for coffee, which is a big one, and I will not give up my coffee. It's the one thing that I just get to have as a human being, and I've given up everything, but coffee is the one thing that I love that I don't feel I should have to give up. You okay, Mama? Okay. So the coffee there's ways to cut the acidity in it. And so you can put, like I put Dandy Blend in with it to kind of cut it back. But doesn't mean I'm going to stop it. I'm just going to minimize the amount that I do. And that's called balance. And I think we understand balance is critical, not just for our health, but for our well-being. And then cutting down on the things that are maybe driving up the cortisol. I'm also learning to relax. So I really just want to be able to support you guys with understanding that if you're experiencing anxiety, which I would imagine most people are, maybe not, I don't know, you can just give me a thumbs up or perhaps put in to the to the feed that you know what your experience is, and if you are experiencing anxiety, just let me know, because I think that most people are at that phase now. I don't say all people, but I think most people right now are really sort of learning their self, and anxiety's coming up. I mean, we're forced into staying in connection with people, right? So all the pandemic happened, and when the pandemic happened, what happened? Everybody was sort of silenced and made to be put in like their situations and circumstances with the individual people to really recognize what are the patterns that are not serving us. That drove up a lot of energy for people, stirred up emotional trauma, perhaps for some people, or stress or whatever. And so much has changed within the dynamics of this quote unquote pandemic, right? And so the pandemic itself has done some good for certain things. People had to face their relationships. People had to face their friendships. People had to face the people that they lived with. You know, all of this stuff, which then drove up the anxiety, the stress, the, you know, all this stuff. People lost their jobs. People didn't know how they were going to pay rent. Some people were like, you know, whatever it was, right? It just drove up the stress levels for some people. And the energy levels, right? So when you're with, let's say you're living with people, maybe it's not your stress. I can tell you that I'm pretty stress free. I have an environment that I set up for myself that was pretty stress free, you know, pretty much. Just very easy. But then again, it was just me. So I was dealing with myself. I mean, I'm hard enough to deal with, right? I'm like, I can barely deal with myself, you know? And then these other individuals show up, right? And so when another individual shows up, well, one, I had my chickie, but a couple of people showed up and we're all in the same household. There's a lot of big personalities, a lot of beautiful personalities, but big, that there was a lot of change and transformation happening all at once. Bye, Mama, I love you. Bye. You want to give me a kiss on the live feed, but you got to be careful with the cords. Okay. Mama gonna say hi. You want to say hi because Betty's on here.
Oh, hi. Hi, Betty. Okay, love you. Have a good day.
Bye, you too. Bye. Okay, so yes, it's very true, but in all actuality, it has made me a better person. I love that, Nicole. Thank you. And yes, that is what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, if we understand how to maneuver through it, we start to grow. Growth and transformation and all that cannot happen without the discomfort. We have to go through the discomfort. That's part of the process. You know, they call it like the tower event, right? There's these tower events that happens. And after the tower is the star. The star is our greatest wish, hope, and dreams come true. And that comes after the tower event. And sometimes we need that tower event to jolt us into action. It's like the fire under our butts, right? It's like, get going. Oh, shoot. Okay. So it could have jolted people that were in stagnation into action, okay, which is good. We need the action as well. And then it could have jolted those people who were in action too much into relaxation. So it could have done both, right? But we don't know. All I can say is that anxiety, I know, is a big, big one. And for me, having to experience that, or even, oh, good morning, Doreen. Hi, I haven't seen you in a while. I experience anxiety, not constant, but it's there. I'm raising my child in the best manner, yeah, and I'm being good enough to my daughter, sister, healthcare provider, students, but I recognize that it generally can breathe and pray through it when it does arise. Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like looking at the foods, and perhaps Doreen, you can just give some insight to um, what foods you might eat that help you lower your stress levels as well. Because nutrition and health is really important. I was overexerting at the gym for sure. So I'm changing my regimen. And that's a good thing. Like sometimes I'm a creature of habit. We all are. And I can tell you this that, yep, sometimes it takes these difficult times so we can no choice but to change exactly. We have no choice but to change exactly. Nicole, thank you guys for your insight and your input and putting notes on there. I'm setting up my podcast enough to maybe can have guests, and I would love to have guests on here. Would be awesome. Doreen, I'd love to have you. Nicole, even if you want to come on, whoever's willing to come on, I would love to have you. But yes, when we talk about the food, and sometimes as a creature of habit, as creatures of habit, because we are. Um, Literally, I will do the same routine every day for the rest of my life if I could. Like it's stress free. I know you kind of just certain what's going to happen. You understand the outcome. You know, you pivot and change just a little bit to get different results. But to have the same process over and over and over again makes life easy. It's just easy that way. But is there full transformation and change in that? No. Something will come in and jolt you into a new way of existence if you don't change it yourself. Sometimes we see the signs, sometimes we don't see them. And sometimes when we see the signs, we just ignore them as though we don't want to see them, and then we don't change them. We're like, nope. And then the universe says, yep, that's what's going to happen. And then you're like, oops, I guess I should have listened, because you knew it was there. But sometimes we don't even know it's there. Sometimes we have no clue, and then like a tidal wave, right? It comes at us. But for me, the big thing was changing my regimen in terms of nutrition, in terms of how I work out and stuff like that. Understanding that I'm getting older. I'm an old lady now. And that old ladies need to change. Sorry. I can't even keep a straight face with that. I feel like I'm 5, okay? But my body's like, honey, girlfriend, you ain't 5 anymore, okay? So just figure it out. And I'm like, yes, yes. Things need to be shifted and changed. So I'm trying to relearn myself, you know, in a different state. And how do I use and pull from all of the wisdom that I've experienced through my nutrition and health? How do I add to the regimen? How do I add more wisdom? How do I learn in all these other things and other aspects? And so the big one, right, is understanding that less is more. I want to do more is more, and that sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes it's less is more. Good morning, Alicia. Cheers. How are you, friend? We get to hang out soon. I miss you. I love you. It's done both. We've had to deal with anxiety with whole life, but have gotten more manageable. Yes, nutrition helps. I also use essential oils. Oh yeah, essential oils is really good. Thanks for that, Nicole. A reminder of essential oils. I should use that. Rub some essential oils on my body and stuff like that, just to nurture, right? Nurture my body and stuff. So slowing down a little bit with my workouts, right? Not stopping, just minimizing it and understanding that my body needs a break because I'm over exerting it and it's doing the opposite effect of what I want. And sometimes we do that. It's kind of like we charge, but we're really losing steam, and we have to step back, let the steam build up, and then move forward. So just working on that. And that too, I think with your anxiety, if you're feeling it, is understanding, first of all, one, is it yours? Does it belong to you? Or is it somebody else's projected on you and you're absorbing it and you're taking it in, and now you've become that, but it's not really your stuff. So you got to understand, and it's a little bit hard because sometimes we'll take it on not even recognizing it. There was a great meme that kind of depicted this particular thing that I'm speaking about. And it was like a father and a mother who fought. And then the father he was at work and then he was upset. He comes home, fights with the wife. The wife takes on his energy. Her energy then gets taken out on the children, on the maybe the bigger sibling. The bigger sibling goes to the smaller sibling, takes it out on the smaller sibling. The smaller sibling then goes and takes it out on the dog. So the poor dog doesn't have anywhere to, put it. It's just like the dog is just all bound up and afraid of everybody, I guess. But the energies transfers. It's like almost like a parasite in some ways. Goes from host to host to host. There was a video that somebody holds a ball. I don't know if you guys ever watched it, where the person has this ball of anxiety and they're walking down the road and this person passes them and accidentally hits them, and the person with anxiety goes, "Watch out, man," or something, says something like this. And that person was having a perfectly good day, but they take that ball and now they have it and then they go to work. In other words, the energy gets transferred from person to person to person to person to person. And so at the end of that, the person transmutes it into happiness and recognizes, hey, this isn't my ball. Why am I carrying it? But I can take the ball and I can switch it and mold it into happiness. And I don't have to continue the cycle of that particular string of energy. That I could be the person who changes it, transmutes it, shifts it. So understanding that as well. So how would you be the person to do that? Well, I do like the idea of grounding, which is something that I should probably do more of, which I don't do, which is getting rid of the free radicals in your body by going out into the earth. And let's just say, I know Curtis is in there hearing this, but putting your feet in the dirt or the grass or whatever, because the earth will take the free radicals out of your body, and literally you will absorb that energy for you and transmute it, and then you don't have to take it on as your own. So that's another way. That's a practice you can use, lowering the stimulants in your body, all that kind of stuff to support you. And a learning to relax, which is the hardest thing for me. Grounding and cutting down on stimulants, easy. Relaxing, different. Now, but I could relax in a certain way. So find your practice that works for you, that allows you to drop into the relaxation, right? Get out of fight or flight, especially if you're an individual who is working out and has a high move, like your lifestyles move, always in action. You need to balance it out with some sort of relaxation. I'm a high strung person, and right now I have been so in what I call relax mode. It's giving me anxiety, which doesn't even make sense, but okay. So I'm like, I need to move the energy out of me so that then I can learn to relax. So I need the both. It's like the both end. How do you use both together? I know naps is a one thing that they recommend. I'm not a nap person. I've tried. It doesn't work for me. I end up getting up and feeling more stressed out than I did before. So I don't even know if that's a practice that would totally work for me. But I think perhaps meditation, deep breathing, and maybe a 15-minute meditation while laying on my back as though I am taking a nap, but not really, actually supports me a little bit better. So just find your practice, find something that works for you, so that you, excuse me, so that you can figure out what's the good balance, so you're not 100% being a little ball of anxiety. Or remember, ask yourself, is it your energy that you're taking on? And if you are and you don't know how to let it out, there are practices. Yes, walking in the grass. I think that's a good one. I think being outside in the sun, allowing the sun to re-energize you, and all that. Me too, same way. Yes, I know. Telling you, Alicia, this stress is like, I don't even want to say why you're stressed. Just kidding. Girl, you have a million angels waiting for you. Just don't tell John I said anything. But, it's, you know, it's hard. Life is this, it's a big, it's getting a little bit, so I don't know how it is for other people or their families. I can say that it has its ebb and flows, and like sometimes it's super hard and sometimes it's like, okay, I got this, and then boom, it just falls and collapses and I'm like, damn it. So setting up your foundations, understanding your practices. I always talk about practices because really that's all it is a practice. We just practice and we sort of kind of find what works for us. We look at the feedback as well. Like, what's the feedback? Did it work for me? If it didn't work, then how do I maneuver into something that will support and work for me? And then you just keep pivoting and moving and shifting in different ways to figure out what is going to work for you. And that's, of course, that's what I do, right? Yeah, girl, I'm telling you, I know you're laughing. I was actually talking about our adventures to a friend in Barcelona the other day after the club, which is hilarious. I'm like, that girl has, God bless her. um, but Barcelona was fun, though. We had a great time, didn't we? Oh my God, we got to go back eventually. When this stuff is lifted, okay? Ibiza, here we go. Just you and I, Alicia. Ibiza and, you know, EDM all day and hippie, the hippie market. I'm going to go shopping out there, get a whole wardrobe. So, God, their clothes were so cute out there. I just can't even. It's totally hippie. I'm totally bohemian hippie. So again, the anxiety. So learn to lower that, the stimulants, recognize if it's yours, keep repeating it. It's a practice. Don't be so hard on yourself, and learn to relax, especially if you're high strung, especially Doreen. I don't know if you're still on here, but I know Doreen is a go-getter and is constantly on the move. And just allowing yourself the space to find that relaxation in whatever you're doing, just because it's a real thing, especially for women. You know, women tend to, especially athletic or women who are like into the gym and working out and do high intense workouts and stuff, um, overexert ourselves. And for men, it's different. I think it's okay for them to do that. For women, it's not. It does it does the opposite because our hormones will be, you know, go out of whack if we overexert our bodies, and then we get the reverse results from that. And I know because I've been on my own journey with this health and nutrition stuff, and you know, so I love those kids. Oh, love those kinds of clothes. Yeah, Nicole, you should see the clothes out there. Amazing. Fitness nutrition is my coping mechanism. When I overwork and undersleep, I notice my stress and anxiety levels rise. Hydrating, eating enough fiber, I know that's a good one now that I'm getting older. Fiber, veggies, whole foods, probiotics, my sweet treats. When I'm consistent with these things, I feel my best. I avoid red meat, pork, and soda. Very good. Thank you for that insight. The peace helps so much now that I've taken some time off. That's good, Nicole. I'm glad that you're doing that. So the hydration, that's another big thing. I do have my water here. I'll just take a drink of water. Yum. Especially in New Mexico. Like I tell people, like it's so dry out here. You have to constantly be drinking water out here. You will dry up like a little prune. Like a little raisin. You want to be a raisin? Go ahead. Just don't drink water in New Mexico. You become a raisin real quick. Okay. So yeah, the fitness and nutrition stuff. I like the sweet treats. That's cute. I do a little sweet treat, like a little piece of chocolate sometimes, but I think the dark chocolate, Eldora, I'm just going to insert that out there. If y'all haven't been to Eldora, I might go there today. Go get me some dark chocolate. They do everything in-house, which makes it such amazing chocolate. Yum. So there you have it. But there you go. I just wanted to kind of talk about that today, the anxiety, and just know that some of it's not yours, and learn to, if it's yours, okay, good. But empty suitcase. Hell yeah, Ibiza and empty suitcase, Alicia. Woo, girl. I'm ready for it. Oops, 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 oops. That's my EDM music box, voice box. EDM music voice box. Oops, 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 oops. Okay, whatever. Oh, sometimes I laugh at myself. You weirdo. Okay, so yes, hydrate. Make sure that you're supporting your body with the foods that support you. Um, make sure that you're relaxing. Make sure that you're using the practices that are going to support you to relax. Again, we're in this space where I think the anxiety is rising. If it's yours, then ask yourself, how do you deal with it, and not transfer it to somebody else, but be able to transmute it within yourself. If it's not yours and you've absorbed it, then you can ask yourself, how do I transmute it, not to pass it on to somebody else? Unless, of course, you want to pass it on to somebody else. But then that energy just gets you, keeps getting recycled. Someone's got to get rid of it, especially in a household. Someone's got to be able to transmute it. Otherwise, it'll just continue to grow and stay. So understanding how to transmute it. Hey, Reggie, what's up? Oops, I'm distracting you. Sorry. Oh, you're not distracting me, Alicia. Are you kidding me, girlfriend? I need dance and music in my life at this point. Okay. All the music and all the dancing I can get, that helps me with my anxiety too, is to dance and to sing and to jump around and have concerts, whole concerts. I was telling my bestie Patrick, like, dude, I need a DJ real bad. And then it was cute because my niece showed up and she started DJing for me. But I'm used to having music and dancing, and that's part of me releasing some of that anxiety, tangled energy that's inside of me as well. It puts me in a state of bliss. So it's almost like me and the music exist together. So this is, I'll say this one thing with music and dancing. It's like the music is embodied in me. I can feel it flowing through my whole body, everything, all the cells in my body start to dance. Everything just becomes alive and harmonious. And it's like, like you could just move with it. And I just feel full and complete. I love music though. That's like all music. And I love to dance. My body cannot, literally, my cells in my body start to move. Like I don't even think I know that I'm moving. And it's just naturally my body starts to move. I'm like, what's going on? But that helps me to release some of that tangled up energy and just like release it in a way that's nice and sensual and peaceful and harmonious. Anyway, Alicia knows this, so that's totally not, you're not distracting me, girl. That's perfect. It fits right in. And you know more than anybody, Alicia, how I feel about my music and dancing because you've seen me dance for 10 hours straight. Oh God, that's what we need. We need a whole time together. We need a karaoke night, which ends up being a dance. Yes, we need dancing. We do, girl. I don't even know. Well, I was thinking about having a barbecue, and I said maybe this weekend, but it might be too soon. But we have our patio all set up and stuff, so be good. Have some friends over, have some music, dancing, and food. That sounds like a good time, right? Okay, so there you have it. I love you. Yep, dance, dance. It helps. Amen, Alicia. Girl, you and I need to go on a trip alone. Just you and I. Get away from everybody. Except us. No, just kidding. All right, so I love you. Everybody, have a wonderful Tuesday. Today's Tuesday. It's already Tuesday. Ooh, girl. Ooh, chile. Ooh, child. It is Tuesday. So have a fantastical Tuesday. Have a great Taco Tuesday if you want with some salsa. Except don't put too much if you got a lot of heat in your body because we don't want your stimulus to go up and your anxiety to go up. But have some tacos. Have a terrific Tuesday. And I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Again, we're with this podcast. You know, it's a whole new setup right now. I feel like I'm in a mini studio at this point. So I think eventually it'll lead up to a whole studio, and then maybe have people come participate, which I would love. Awesome. All right. So I love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Okay.